As we enter into our holiday season, bless us and instill in us the spirit of kindness, the spirit of respect, and the spirit of unity. Guide us in our decisions to be fair and transparent. Bless all who came here tonight and their loved ones, and keep everyone safe when they travel home. Bring our armed forces safely home. Bless our country, our state, and beautiful Cass County. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Mr. Jones.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, roll please.
Commissioner Leyland.
Present.
Commissioner File.
Here.
Chair Dice.
Here.
Commissioner Marquetti.
Here.
Commissioner Benjamin.
Here.
Commissioner Grice.
Here.
And Commissioner Jones.
Here.
Quorum. We have to start with the introduction of our visitors. We start with Purser and who else?
Jennifer Renfro, Finance Director.
Joyce Long, Collective for District.
Vicki Vaughn, the Department of Human and Health Services and the Medical Care Facility.
Diane Seifert, DHHS Board, Cass Medical Board.
Jerry Marquetti, I'm a Township Supervisor.
Jeff Van Bell, Drain Commissioner.
Tammy Stewart, Equalization Director.
Mary Howie, soon to be Commissioner in January, and I'm excited for the 5th District.
Mark Howie, Cass County. Terrace DeSanto, Jefferson Township.
R.J. Lee, Commissioner-elect, District 8.
Richard Mankey, Sheriff. Bob Thompson? No.
Ron Butts, Animal Control Director.
I'd like to thank you all for being here tonight. Floor is now open for public comment. If anybody has any public comment. Yes, step to the podium and state your name and
We move this out a little bit. Good.
Are you, oh,
No, go ahead.
am I the only one?
evidently.
Well, I might jump in after you.
Okay. Terrace DeSanto, I have another offer for you guys. It's not as intense as the one last time. For years, I've been hearing about our education system, and people think it's messed up. So I always believe that complaining without getting involved and doing something about it is just whining. So I like to do stuff about it. So back when Betsy DeVos was Secretary of Education, I sent her and her husband a letter about, because they have a charter high school called the West Michigan Aviation Academy, and I proposed that we set up a program for, what do you call it, middle school and high school students to work on aircraft that I recover out of Lake Michigan at the Kalamazoo Air Zoo. And they responded very positively, and the program has been so successful. We have had middle school and high school students from Chicago, well, actually all the way to the university level, from Chicago all the way to Ann Arbor. It's been something like 3,000 or 4,000 students have participated in the program. Back about four years ago, I got Fred Upton and some Cass high school students to participate in the program. About a month and a half ago, public television out of Detroit contacted me, and they said they wanted to do, they have a program called Great Lakes Now, and they wanted to do a special on my work in the Great Lakes. And I said, that's wonderful. I don't care. I said, what I want you to do is a special on what we do after I do my work. So I want you to do what they do at a special about the Kalamazoo Air Zoo and the educational outreach. And things are kind of serendipitous. Like 2 days later, I ran into the Cassopolis Public Schools superintendent, and I told him. So December 1st, about 15 or 20 Cassopolis high school and middle school students are going to go to the Kalamazoo Air Zoo, and there's no guarantees, but some of them are going to end up on public television because they're doing this special and they're going to film on December 1st. So what my proposal, my offer is to you guys is, I would like county commissioners and school board people to go along with and see what we're doing. And so that's my offer to you, is you're welcome to come with on December 1st, and that includes the ones that are elected. So if any of you are available and would like to go, basically to support the students, see what's going on, give us comments on if you wanted to, how we want to improve it, how we can expand it, whatever you want. But that's my offer to you. So if any of you are interested and don't know how to reach me, I'll give you my card. And that's it. There you have it. Okay? All right?
Any other public comment?
What's funny about that?
Nothing, it was great.
Any other public comment? Have you approved of the agenda?
I move that we approve the agenda as written.
I've been supported. Agenda be approved. Is there any discussion?
Chair, I'm
Yes.
going to ask for M21222 to be moved as business items when we get to proposed consent agenda.
Say that again.
M21222, that's the approval of last meeting. I'm going to ask for that to be moved out of the consent agenda. But that can be handled in the consent agenda. I just wanted everyone to know.
Okay. Any other discussions? Not? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Recognitions, we do have some presentations tonight. The recognition, we have presentations from Ms. Stewart. Tammy Stewart, Equalization Director.
I handed you out 2 new replacement sheets for the report that I gave you last month. After the election each year, apportionment has to be done in October, and oftentimes there are items on the election in November that changes millages. Anything that affects a millage needs to be updated in the apportionment report and reapproved by the Board of Commissioners for the state. This year we had Penn Township Fire that is considered a special assessment. It wasn't voted on, it's passed by the township. They inadvertently made their special assessment on their 4029.73. It should have been 0.37. So we've corrected that for the winter tax bills, and I've corrected it on these 2 sheets that were affected for the report. And if you could just replace these in your report. We also have a resolution coming in front of you today for the revised report due to this one change. And that's it.
Thank you.
Any questions for Ms. Stewart? Thanks a lot, Dan. Okay, proposed consent agenda.
Proposed consent agenda, motion 211-22, motion to approve claims dated November 10, 2022. I moved above listed item B voted on one time by roll call vote, considered as a consent agenda by the Board of Commissioners.
I second that.
Properly moved, supported. Is there any discussion? There's no discussion?
Commissioner Lakeland?
Yes.
Commissioner File?
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti?
Yes.
Chair Dice?
Yes.
Commissioner Benjamin?
Yes.
Commissioner Grice?
Yes.
And Commissioner Jones?
Yep. Consent agenda passes. Committee reports. Commissioner Lay.
Nothing to report this time.
Commissioner File.
Oh, no. I have no report.
And Commissioner Marquetti.
Okay, on November 9th, I attended the Human Services Coordinating Council, and the speaker for that meeting was Marty Hardy, the Director of the Council on Aging. The vision for the Council on Aging for older adults is good nutrition, exercise, staying mentally active, and being socially connected. Here are a few statistics from the Council on Aging. 3,600 people were directly served last year. 55,000 meals were served. 13,000 hours of home services were delivered, and 55 people are employed by the Council on Aging. Marty was complimented on the great lunches served at the Council on Aging, both at the Low Center and at Dowagiac. There are so many programs in areas of health. In fact, they even have 2 fitness centers. Then that same day, the Health Department met in Dowagiac, and after review, the board approved the employee handbook for 2023. Danielle Persky reported that she has been asked to sit on the Bronson board, which will strengthen the health department ties with our hospitals. Because the state misread the allocation from the federal government, we may have to return some COVID money. From Julie Beeching, our nursing director, she said flu clinics are over, but we still have vaccine, and the COVID bivalent is available. We'll need to make an appointment in either in Dowagiac or in Lawrence. She said that they attended a symposium on infectious disease prevention for nurses, and they learned more training will be required for group homes such as nursing homes and assisted living facilities. The STD and HIV program nurses are doing outreach in the jails and at Woodlands. George Friday, our environmental health director, reported that they have a new employee, and the state has come up with more money for type 2 well inspections. Type 2 wells are community wells such as in campgrounds and restaurants. Between Cass and Van Buren counties, there are 241 type 2 wells. So the new employee will be assigned to test type 2 wells. That's all from the health department. But I attended a 4-hour workshop on the lack of child care in Cass County. And as you know, I have been involved in that grant that Christine Gutmeyer received. And it was quite a good workshop. I went to a Michigan Works meeting, and podcast 83 from Michigan Association of Counties, and they talked about the review of the Open Meeting Act. It's continuing, and there is a remote meeting component to the bill. And if you want to try and take a look at it, it's HB House Bill 6021. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Any questions for Commissioner Marquetti? Commissioner Benjamin?
None at this meeting, thanks.
Commissioner Grice?
Yeah, let's report a little bit on Woodland. We're seeking a new CEO. We just had a meeting this week, and I'm glad to see on the board here that we got a couple appointments because we could not meet quorum the other day. So we couldn't do any things, but just give you an update. We had 25 applications for the CEO.
Wow.
And we're down to 7, which would be the chair and vice chair of Woodlands plus the personnel committee will interview all 7. From there, we'll go down to 3 and take it to the whole board, so they can interview. So that's where we're at on that. It's moving along quickly. But that's about it. At this point in time, like I said, I'm glad to see there's some appointments on this agenda for Woodlands. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Commissioner Grice? Commissioner Jones?
The only report I have is for our veterans. I've been working with Niles YMCA and Battle Creek YMCA and a few other organizations surrounding our county for our county veterans. And I've been receiving calls for welfare checks because we keep an eye out for each other. So they called me a couple times this past month for people that they have concerns over. So what I do is I go and I knock on their door. How you doing? I'm Jeremiah Jones. I'm your chair of the Veterans Committee, and it all worked out. So we're replacing furnaces, roofs, and we're continually helping veterans. And we just renewed our lease with the gas station TV to keep advertising, come in and register. So other than that, I don't have anything.
Thanks a lot. Any questions for Commissioner Jones? Okay, thank you. Appointments Committee.
Well, we've been busy. And you'll see by our appointments.
Administrator.
Yes, my report is in the packet. I'm happy to answer any questions as well. I'll touch on a couple things. I think I talked about this last time, but the holiday luncheon is December 9th. That's going to be from 11 to 2 o'clock, and it will be held in the Law and Courts building in the probate courtroom. So, of course, we would welcome all of you to attend. One thing I know, I don't see Hope here tonight, but I wanted to talk about, she's actually done a lot on this, and I'm really excited about it, is we're going to have, if you remember, a few months ago, I think over the course of the summer, we had a rep from Telamon was here helping with the My Half program. Recently, we actually re-engaged with Telamon, and they're going to bring someone on site again to help with the My Hope program. And actually, the individual that's going to be coming out from Telamon is a certified housing advisor. So I think outside of the My Hope program, there's a lot of other things we're going to be able to do with that. So we're working on, I think Ambrosia was going to be issuing a press release soon and getting that out to the public. They'll be here once a week. I believe it'll be in the conference room for the veterans. And we're excited to help residents in the community. And I think the other thing I'll update on is we're still working on the USDA grant for the courthouse. We've got everything submitted. Kind of what we're working through right now is kind of this component of historic review. So we're working through that now, but hoping to get that moved as quickly as possible. We're still working on it today.
Any questions for the administrator? Finance report.
The report is in the packet. I just wanted to make a quick note that some of the percentages might look high. There are expenditures in there from last year that have not been journal entered back to last year yet, so some of the numbers in certain areas might look a little high. It's just because not all year-end journal entries have been completed yet.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions? No questions. Okay. Public safety report.
Good evening. Thanks again, Sheriff, for letting me share some time. Exciting times at Animal Control up in the next couple of weeks. As I spoke about last time, we have the Christmas for the Animals open house coming, which is going to tie into a nationwide adoption event. Cass County Animal Shelter is participating in Bissell's Empty the Shelters event, which allows for low-cost pet adoptions. At $20, cats and dogs both. What you'll get with that is a spayed or neutered cat or dog that has been fully vaccinated and microchipped. And perfect timing for that since the shelter's full. And that'll be running from December 1st through the 11th. And when that is completed and our open house is complete, we have 2 more projects that are moving forward. One being the kennel door frame replacements. Materials are in for that. And that will be scheduled, products and materials are delivered on the 5th, as well as the admin section flooring replacement as well too. That project is in the works for that to hit the floor soon. That's all I got.
Thank you.
What day is the party?
December 3rd, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
First Saturday.
First Saturday in December.
Any questions for Officer Bucks? No, good deal. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Good deal. County partner. County partner? No? County partner?
Hello, I'm with Corey Blivis with the Cass County Conservation District, and our annual meeting and election is coming up, and I want to make sure you're all aware of it. It's November 29th, Tuesday evening, 5:30 to 8:30 at the VFW here in Cass. We're going to have a speaker from the EPA talking about some lake issues, including algal blooms. And then we do our conservation awards, our annual awards. And the election, we have 2 board members that are 2 applicants, candidates. One is Alex Bosmowski. You might recognize his name. He used to be on the NRCS board for a number of years, and then, or he was a district conservationist actually. And then also Bern Miller is the second candidate. I also wanted to mention that we are accepting applications for a new district administrator, as Lori did turn in a resignation on the 4th of November. And I've been assigned interim in the meantime as we search for a new person. So please send folks our way so we can quickly get back to a normal routine. So, any questions?
Resignation?
Yeah,
Lori did?
she did.
What's the day of the election again?
November 29th, it's a Tuesday evening, 5:30 to 8:30 at the VFW here in Cass. And there'll be a dinner, so please RSVP, but we'll have plenty of food.
Any other questions for Ms. Blivis? Okay, we have some new people, we have some presentations, I guess, evidently from Cass County Medical Care Facility and also from Transit. So,
good evening, everyone. Gary Bundle from Public Transit will be joining us here shortly as well. We wanted to make just a real brief presentation to kind of bring you all up to date with what's going on, and I made a list, so if I start rambling, just punch me.
what's that?
All right.
You got 5 minutes.
Yeah, we have 5 minutes, that's right. So wanted to just kind of give you all just a real brief synopsis of what's been going on with the medical care facility over the past year. We've entered a county integration pact. Being an arm of the county, we are now fully integrated with the maintenance department, which is very cool, as is the road commission. So these projects that we're starting are starting to show promise. We are already saving money, getting expertise with having Dave Reef on board. So it's been awfully nice. We're also working, and I'm looking around to see where our Jody is. She's not here. And with IT, we are in the process right now of merging our IT departments, where the county will now service the medical care facility as well. And this is all just a beginning, and Matthew has been part of this from day one as well, of us trying to end duplication of services throughout the county and save taxpayer dollars. So that's where we are with that. Let me look. Countywide 18. Oh, we opened up outpatient therapy this year, so that is something new. It has been 182 years, by the way, that Cass County has been taking care of each other, and outpatient therapy for the very first time, headed up by one of our program directors. I brought all your cousins here, brought program directors and key personnel here, and our board. We are missing one board member who could not make it, and since his apologies, had to have couldn't make it. So anyhow, we continue to be 5-star by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, and that's how we are governed along with the state of Michigan and the Department of Health and Human Services. We are now 6 years running. This is figured every month. We have been 5 stars for 6 years running. The next closest facility that can speak to that is almost 200 miles away. Yeah, so, we sure aren't perfect, but we are trying. Looking at expanding our campus, it's been a rough couple of years here, and we are trying to move forward with everything that we need to do, including keeping the medical care facility fully staffed and operational and compliant. So things are not going as quickly as we would have liked to start seeing changes and building and all these good things happening. Is Jerry on his way? Gary on his way? Okay. All right. So ultimately, that is kind of it in a nutshell. I want to make things brief for you all. But I brought lots of people here. If you have any questions or anybody wants to talk to anybody or has any thoughts.
Go ahead.
So what were you all, for your IT, what were you all doing before?
We had a service called, it was called CKIT once upon a time, then called Analytics. It's the same service that Community Mental Health utilized for many years. We've had them for about 14 years now, and they did a fine job. It's just How do we keep our business within the county? How do we keep county people working? And we figured this county integration was the perfect way to do that.
Yeah, I got it. So
Yeah.
probably for Matt, with Jody, is that something that's feasible? Which is already done, but
We're actually working through it now. I think we actually are gonna be at the medical care facility board meeting, at their next meeting, to
Monday.
talk about, kind of the next phases of this.
Yeah.
And, we've done some initial assessments on equipment and, kind of mapping the network and things like that. So it's moving forward pretty well.
That's
We're not
good.
quite there yet, but we're getting really close.
And
Yeah,
if you all-
it's going really well.
and if you all would need any more, if she would need any more additional help, that would come to the board also in the future.
Yeah, and I think the idea is, this allows us, a bit tighter integration from what we had before, and, ultimately will save the medical care facility money as well.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah, it's the deal with maintenance has been light years beyond what we could ever imagine. It has worked so incredibly well. Yeah, and so this is working out well too. Where we are so far, we're probably, I don't know, a little, maybe over halfway, pushing 2/3 of the way in this project. Yeah, and still to come, so many other things, because there are so many duplications of services throughout all of us, and it's got to quit. How do we explain to taxpayers, that, yeah, how many people mow your lawn, how many people do your books, how many people, do everything, so it's worked out well. Does everybody know our board members here?
I was just gonna,
Yeah.
if I may, I was gonna ask you
Yes.
to introduce your staff, because I see you have your two of your board members and some of your staff here. Please introduce
We brought lots of cousins. All right, Vicki Vaughn is our board chair.
Yeah.
Diana Seifert is one of our board members. This is Rayanne Franco, and Rayanne, lots of us, we wear lots of different hats. And so she heads up the business department, plus many, many other things as well. Going around the room, my cousin Rick, cousin Clint, this is Roger.
Yeah.
You all know Roger.
Yeah.
This is Rhea Shimada. Rhea heads up our therapy department, an old long-term friend of the medical care facility and the county, and she has opened up outpatient therapy for the first time. See everybody. Yep. Kathy Brown. And I always say Kathy Matthews because I always forget, because I know people from so long ago. My big sis. But Kathy is in our activities department and has been about, how many years? 23? 22 years. Incredible. So, so we just put it out there. Does any of y'all want to come tonight? And they're like, yeah, we want to meet everybody. So, yeah, we're glad to be here.
I have one more thing. A few years ago, you got that Going Pro grant. It's offered again this year.
Oh.
And okay, I'm gonna send you, I don't think I have are you gonna stick around afterwards? Give me your email and I'll send you the information.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You need
Awesome.
to do that.
You want to hear something cool?
I do.
So our grants are a combination of Rayanne and Phil, our accountant. And over the pandemic, we the brains of the operation, applied for and received over $6 million in grants and to the medical care facility. So it's been good stuff, and we need it, right? We've faced so many setbacks of not being able to admit folks, and then cranking down and everything over the past several years, and so this surplus money has come in handy. We've utilized all of our dollars to take care of folks. All right, so that's all I have to say. Jeremiah's giving me the. All right, come on up here. I want to introduce you all to your other new cousin, and this is Gary Bundle.
Hi.
Gary.
Good evening.
Yes, Gary is the brand new director for public transportation. Gary is local, has been gone and back now, which we absolutely love. He and his wife Della are Cass County residents, and so pleased to have him here, and I will leave you alone.
Give me a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sit down.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm really excited about this opportunity to serve in this new role here at home, and get to work with a lot of people I already know and get to meet people I don't. But we've got a big task ahead of us for public transit. There was a study done recently by KFH that came up with a transit plan, and it's been very well received, it's very well conceived, and we'll have our challenges ahead of us in implementing that plan, starting with capacity building. So they have a lot of great ideas there, but we got to build the capacity to be able to do any of this stuff, and that starts with drivers. So once we can get enough drivers hired, we can start to implement some of these things and move forward to provide something that works for everybody. Any questions?
Questions?
Comments?
I have with the previous director, with the veteran service officer, we had an agreement for veterans and all that. Are you familiar with the passes and the tokens that we had for our veterans?
I know we are serving that population.
And you're gonna, I don't know if we need to renew that, or is it gonna be as it was written
It's
previous
good.
to you?
It's good.
It's good?
It's good.
All right, that's all I need.
And we will be very soon trying to reconstitute our local advisory committee, which you're familiar with.
Yeah.
And we'll probably be meeting a month early, so I'll be trying to confirm those memberships within the next few days so we can convene that group.
All right.
Any other questions for Mr. Bundle? I think I met Mr. Bundle.
I sure do. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you.
Good evening. Always a pleasure. Glad you got here safely. If you had a good experience, I'll take the credit. If you didn't, we'll blame the medical facility. I want to talk about snow, not really, but I would like to bring you up to date. As early as Sunday, we were out with 3 trucks because 3 townships got snow. Right in the northwest corner. It was really amazing. And that was what got us off to the races. Tuesday, we finished gravel contracts. You know what's coming, don't you? Wednesday, the south half of the county was in dire need of snow plowing. As you know, we're one of the few counties that utilizes our equipment year-round, and we convert it from our summer season to our winter season. Well, as the guys have reminded me several times, you have to finish the summer season before you can convert to the winter season. We did that Tuesday. On Wednesday, I had 6 trucks available for half the county. And fortunately, this is all about building relationships, as you know. And I have a great relationship with John, the manager of St. Joe County, and I called him and I said, John, you remember when you told me to put that wall up at the county line so you wouldn't get any snow? He said, yeah, and I didn't get any snow. I said, okay, that means you have trucks. Send them over here because I have snow. And he did not hesitate. He sent 5 trucks with drivers, with sand and salt. And we met them and gave them a map, and they worked on Wednesday, and that is what allowed us and our 6 trucks to get the south half of the county cleared for our motoring public. And as you've heard me say before, the 3rd C in Cass County is collaboration, and that extends beyond our borders. And so I'm very grateful for the response that I got from St. Joe. I could have called Van Buren as well. They asked if we needed anything in the north. Fortunately, we didn't, and yet they would have been more than happy to come our way. So I think that's just a great, great relationship. As you know, today we had snow pretty much everywhere except north and east. The ski resort didn't get very much. That's kind of sad. But all the rest of the county did have some, especially as you went west. It got upwards of 12 inches right at the county line, just north of Niles. And so we had 14 trucks available, and the guys worked a little extra. We came in at 5. They stayed over, some of them till 3, and we were able to get over it. And tomorrow we're looking forward to another 3 to 6 and 35-mile-an-hour winds. So hang on to your hat, no pun intended. I wanted to comment on what's been already spoken about with the medical care facility, and that is the collaborative effort with the maintenance people. It's not possible to be working better. Dave is just about finished installing the units that updates our HVAC system, significant savings to us, and we will be forwarding funds for his time, which helps your budget for his position. And it's just wonderful, folks. And we're going to expand on that too. We've got Jody involved, and there's more opportunities out there. We're just at the tip of the iceberg, and that's exciting to me. I want to mention at Robert's request a roundabout update. As you know, that was delayed because we could not get grading easement from one of the property owners. And you heard me say that night when we learned that if I had to go to the condemnation process, I was not going to do it twice. And so we included the property that we need for the fourth leg, and that is in the works. We're probably half to 2/3 through that process, which has a pretty definitive time frame. And just yesterday, the attorney for the property owner called, and they want to meet. And I think that's very positive. They realize, because we sent them the drawings of what is involved in the fourth leg, it's a pretty good swath out of their property. It's going to happen sooner or later, and if they're going to enjoy the proceeds, then it needs to happen for them soon, just like it needs to happen for us. And so I'm looking forward to that meeting. I'm sure we're going to get it done. The best news is, with all of this money stuff, we have just recently learned that there's approximately $700,000 available through the RTF, and that goes about 80% that would go about 80% to the building of the fourth leg. And no one else is in a position to utilize that makes up that group. And so we are very confident that we can take advantage of that money, and the timing we think is going to work out pretty well, because it has to be constructed next year, or we lose the safety grant that started it in the first place. And so it's going to happen. I just got word late this afternoon, we've got 2 tire trailers coming for the cleanup of the final tires, I'm hoping, for the collection. And the best news is the gal had some cancellations for grants, and so there's grant money left for those 2 trailers, and I won't enjoy or have any fun sending you the bill. On a closing note, my evaluation was done today, and unfortunately I have to report that you're going to have to put up with me a little longer. Questions? Anybody? Question? You're welcome. Anybody? Good? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob? Elected officials. Any elected officials reports? So we have no unfinished business, so we'll go to new business. Commissioner Jones.
R21322 is resolution to approve revised 2022 apportion report. So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner File?
Yes.
Chair Dice?
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti?
Yes.
Commissioner Benjamin?
Yes.
Commissioner Grice?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
And Commissioner Leyland?
Yes.
Resolution passes. Commissioner Marquetti.
Yes, M214-22 is a motion to approve civil council access policy as recommended by the policy committee. And the civil council access was from 2009 and needed revision. And not only that, we have a different firm, 2 different firms now that we use. So I move we approve this.
Support.
Properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion?
Question.
Yes.
What if the board wants to meet with the attorney outside of the administration? Does this policy prevent that?
What's that? What was your question?
If the board of Commissioners wants to meet with the attorney outside of the administrator, can they do that? Or do we need to make a request to the county administrator?
Why would you make a request to the
Because
administrator?
that's what the policy says,
Does it say that?
yes. Number one.
Yeah.
The commissioners would have the controlling call on that. You might have to revise that.
I'm for making the changes as presented, but it is something for the policy committee to look at.
To look into.
I mean, it's kind of there already,
Yeah.
but it may be something to put in, that this does not apply to the board of commissioners as a whole.
Yeah, because the commissioners could meet with the attorney without asking the administrator. Yes, they can.
We
Yes.
never have.
You should.
We should be able to.
You should be able to.
Yeah, we hold the power to do that.
Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I remember whenever we did this, and it was because there was people going off on their own to talk to the attorney without really having.
Yeah.
It had nothing that they should have been doing that for. That's all I can say is,
And we're
it was
charged.
changed at that time.
Right, and we're charged, and like if you just decide you want to talk to the attorney, it's cha-ching. And so there has to be some method so that, I mean, I remember that time you and I talked to
But
the
let's
attorney.
let's get back to where we were.
I'm not talking about individual,
No.
I agree there, I'm
Yeah.
talking about the board as a
The
whole.
board, the board could
Oh,
determine
as
if,
a whole.
If we
Oh.
decided
Yeah.
this policy doesn't allow that, really.
Oh, okay. As
and
a
we
whole.
should be able to do that without
Okay.
talking to the administrator.
Oh, I got it. Oh, yeah, we're allowed, yeah, okay, I get it. I thought you meant individually.
No.
So did Annie. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nobody else did?
Okay. So that'll be reflected, that reflection, will that change be made?
We can do that, sure.
I'm just saying, I think you
Sure.
should consider that in the
Sure.
future.
Make that notation and then we'll bring it back to
I
you.
made the note.
And we'll bring it back to the board
Yeah.
as it's corrected.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing it up, Commissioner Benjamin. Any other discussion?
I totally.
Not,
Motion,
yes, sir.
ready?
It's a motion on
We
the
have a
floor.
motion on the floor. so-
Need a vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Okay, now, Commissioner Layla.
Motion to approve animals and county facilities policy as recommended by the policy committee, I so moved.
Second.
Properly moved, supported. Is there any discussion on this motion?
Don't make no sense to me. I think that, if somebody's animal did something, that person would be liable, not the county, but it don't matter.
Commissioner Benjamin.
Yeah, so I'm glad that we're putting a policy in place. In one of the townships that I represent, they actually just recently had an employee's dog attack another employee. So I can see how that is in effect, and since that township allowed it, that they did take on some possible liability. The question I have is, in this policy, how does a person get a reasonable accommodation? It really doesn't specify how a person goes about doing that. Do they do that with the county administrator? Do they do with their department head? And I would say that while I'm okay with us passing this, it's something for the policy committee to look at in the future on what would that process be to get what's called the reasonable accommodation.
I think one of the things we've talked about, we haven't brought it forward yet, but we have reviewed it, is I think we need to see an update to the ADA policy also. I think we can incorporate
And then that-
more guidance
that
under
would
the
address it.
reasonable accommodation stuff as well.
Any other discussion? No other discussion, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
Nay.
Motion passes. Commissioner Marquetti.
Yes, M-216-22 is a motion to approve security policy on electronic devices in the law and courts building policy as recommended by the policy committee. I move we approve this.
Is there a second?
What is it? Yes, second.
Been properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion on this motion?
Yeah, I have a
Let's
comment.
go ahead.
So, this one, I really would like the policy committee to take a look at some of the recent changes in medical devices as they pertain to cell phone in particular. And I'll give an example. Being a diabetic, myself, I'm only able to track my blood sugars through my cell phone. And all the devices over the next 2 years are actually becoming that way. And this policy may restrict people that have those medical conditions, and there's no exceptions in this, or a process for approval for that. And so I really suggest that the policy committee take a look at that. You're also talking about smart watches now that are gonna be able to track that. The next wave of devices are insulin will be pumped automatically based off of those devices, and if you shut them off, you're preventing them from maybe serving in jury pools or attending a court. So anyway, I'd pose that back to you because I know I would be one that would be impacted.
Yes, go ahead.
We'll have to push that back to the law courts for revision.
I can speak to that. Number 7, a person may use portable electronic communication devices in the law and courts building unless a particular use is specifically prohibited by MCR 8.115, prohibited by this policy, or the head of security, a judge, clerk, or court administrator limits or terminates activity that is disruptive or compromises security in law and courts building. So actually, the policy does permit electronic devices to be used in the building. It's really more specific to things like recording people without their permission and any, activity that could be determined by security to be disruptive, but you're allowed, we actually went through several different iterations on this. To actually get to it, I think there was some revisions to actually MCR 8115 as well, where originally this policy, I think, had restricted electronic devices in courtrooms. After looking at that a couple different times, we realized that that actually needed to change, and they were allowed to use electronic devices in courtrooms also. So I don't think that it prohibits electronic devices in a way that would preclude issues like that. And you can have a cell phone with you, you can have a laptop, tablet. There are just certain uses that you're not able to do, so that's recording people. There's obviously provisions with respect to the courtrooms on, witnesses and jury members and things using it, but all those are governed by 8.115 as well.
Okay. Any other discussion? No,
And I can say real quick that Carl has reviewed this 2 times now, and felt that everything was good within it as well, and that it was not too restrictive in that regard either.
Yes, go ahead.
I'll just point out, I'm kind of on the cutting edge of this technology, so I understand where this technology is going in the next 2 years. So I just would point out that it is something, especially in the first 2 quarters of next year, we're going to start seeing. And we need to be thoughtful of the fact that as we limit these devices, there are implications to the medical field. So. And again, I'm not opposed to this policy, I'm just saying I think the policy committee, when they review these type of things, are gonna need to consider that in the future.
We'll let Carol know. We'll let Carol know.
And I did chat with Judge Dobridge about this before, so
Okay, we'll
I
let
don't
you
know how that is
yeah.
spread out there.
We can let Carol know.
That was when they had a ban on those devices all in the court.
Okay, any other discussion? Not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Commissioner Leyland.
Resolution 217-22, has everybody read this, or would you guys like me to read it aloud?
We read it.
Okay. I'll read it. Go ahead.
He second.
I second. I thought you were done.
Works for me.
Is there any discussion on our 217-22 resolution to authorize Minority Rural Development Fund grant application?
Well, I just would like to make a comment that Sarah Schoeneck of Market Van Buren has helped us greatly with this grant, and she did a really fine job of it.
Any other discussion? Madam Clerk?
Chair Dice,
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti,
Yes.
Commissioner Benjamin,
Yes.
Commissioner Grice,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Lehman,
Yes.
and Commissioner Fire.
Yes.
Commissioner Grice.
Resolution 218-22, a resolution to amend Resolution 166-22, which the Bear Lake well, which we passed on September 1st, 22. And basically, this amendment will authorize the drain office to sign and borrow funding necessary for the completion of the project. All costs will be passed on to the Bear Lake level special assessment district. I so move.
Support.
Properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion on this resolution as presented? Not, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Marquetti?
Yes.
Chair Dice?
Yes.
Commissioner Benjamin?
Yes.
Commissioner Price?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yep.
Commissioner Leyland?
Yes.
And Commissioner File.
Yes.
Resolution passes. Commissioner Jones.
M 21922, motion to approve budget amendments as presented. So moved.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? There and having none, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say aye. No. Say no or nay. Or something negative, whatever it is. Motion passes. Commissioner File.
M 22022 is a motion to appoint Russell C. to Sailors and Soldiers Relief Fund Board to a term ending February 22nd, 2024. I so move.
Second.
Properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion on the motion as presented? No discussion? We'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Number 9 is Commissioner Marquetti.
Yes, M 221-22 is a motion to appoint Robert Overholzer to the Woodlands Behavioral Health Care Network Board to an unexpired term ending March 31st, 2024.
Second.
Properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion on this motion?
Yes, I would like to comment that Mr. Overholzer has a background in finance. He was a CFO of a company. He lives in Penn Township.
Any other discussion? No, well, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Commissioner Leyland.
Motion 222-22 is a motion to appoint Ashley Redzkowski to the Woodlands Behavioral Healthcare Network Board to an unexpired term ending March 31st, 2024. I so move.
I second that.
Properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion on this motion?
Yes, I would like to comment that Ashley has a master's in social work. She lives in LaGrange Township, and sounds like to me she'll be an asset to the board.
Any other discussion? Not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries. There's a discussion item. Time and date to interview two applicants for the road commission.
Well, we had two applicants. It was on our website for quite a while, and Rose is not here, otherwise I'd say what a great job she did putting it on the website. We also had it in the paper. I brought a copy of one of the papers, and it wasn't on, some papers it was on the first page, but this one, it was on the second page. And the big thing, it's on the third page, sorry, it's Cass County accepting applications for road commissioner, and it was published November 5th. And one of the applicants is absolutely outstanding. She is the current chair of the board. She's does a fantastic job. Previous job she was with Michiana Area Council of Governments. I don't see any reason why we really need to interview her or really anyone else, because she needs to go back on the board. I know that Road Commission Manager Thompson is very, very pleased with her work. So I would just like to make a motion to appoint Sandy Senor to a 6-year term.
Second.
Properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, she's good.
I think it's a good move.
Yeah.
Very good.
I think the road commission does a lot of good things. The fact that they got recognized at their state convention last year for working with the county, doing things that nobody else does. And I'm a big proponent of the road commission. I called them one night and said, hey, tractor pullers don't have anybody run a grader. They called and they sent us the grader over at the county fair. No problems, no answers, and it took care of it. So we do a lot of things at the road commission on purpose, not by accident. So I know Sandy, I think she's a great asset to the road commission, and I will be done discussing. Any other discussion? Not, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
You still have 212 that was pulled from consent agenda.
Chair.
Oh, yes, yes, we do.
Yeah, on the minutes for last meeting, in the second paragraph, we had a visitor that presented the Pledge of Allegiance, and her name was misspelled in the minutes. So I'd like that corrected, and then I'll make a motion to approve M21222 as amended.
Second.
Is there any discussion? No discussion?
Good catch.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Thanks a lot, Commissioner Thompson. Commissioner Thompson. Commissioner, I call him Commissioner Thompson. Oh, man, that's scary. Okay, we have no closed session. Any board member comments or announcements?
Yes. Okay, two things. First of all, Adoption Day is Thursday, November 22nd at 3 o'clock. And it's in Judge Beeler's courtroom. If you have never been, it is quite an event. I've been in many times myself, and as speakers are Justin and Alexis Black, and they wrote a book, Redefining Normal, how two foster kids beat the odds and discovered healing, happiness, and love. So if you can, please attend Adoption Day. Second thing I have is,
Hey, Roseanne,
what?
could you give the date again and time?
Oh, yes, sir. It's Tuesday, November 22nd at 3 o'clock in Judge Beeler's courtroom.
I think it's in the circuit court.
Pardon me?
I think it's in the circuit.
Circuit court? Okay, thank you. In the circuit court.
Gotcha.
It's at the law enforcement building.
Yeah, you'll find it. Just follow everybody. Okay, the other thing I have to say is that Christmas party. Okay, so Annie and I met with a lady that's going to help us do, we will have a fantastic, where's the sheriff? We will have a fantastic basket this year. We got to beat the sheriff because his basket last year was really something. And it has been suggested that we decorate the door to the chambers. Now, Annie's going to be gone, and I don't even own a hot glue gun. So I am going to need, if we're going to decorate this, I am going to need the help of all of you, the rest of you. And so Jeremiah is shaking his head, no. Thank you.
We'll use tape and stuff on
Michael?
I got hot glue gun.
Okay. Skip?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, all right, because we sort of have it all planned, what we're going to do.
Okay.
So, and I'm going to let you know, each one of you, what I need from you.
Oh, okay.
Before you go, Ann.
I'll donate everything but my time.
Okay, that's it for me.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Five minutes supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I gotta get this right. Okay.